This is News 4 San Antonio Today, the only local news station with nonstop news.
Well, this is what we do. Good morning. Nonstop news starts right now. A little reminder here. We are the only station in town commercial free for the next 15 minutes. We got you covered. A lot going on right now. So we got Joy in Traffic, plus our new traffic reporter. He is in road cam, David Mendoza. So going to get a unique look at what's happening on the roads. But as always, we will start off with Jeannette with a look at the forecast and some changes, kind of a up and down week.
Yeah, not what we had this weekend. Over the weekend, It was sunny, it was dry. Temperatures in the afternoon got into the 80s. Today, well, cloudy all day. Because of the clouds, highs this afternoon just in the 70s. The wind will pick up later today, then it gets very windy tomorrow. This morning, you'll notice the cloud cover. You'll also notice it is milder and it is more humid. Temperatures are starting off in the 60s, and we're seeing a lot of upper 60s. Down towards the south, couple spots in the low 70s. Dew point temperatures are in the widespread 60s. That flow from the Gulf bringing in more moisture, so the air is quite saturated. It could see a few sprinkles or a shower here and there. Rain chance at 10%. This afternoon, a high between 75 and 77. Talking about that fire danger tomorrow with the high winds and the lower humidity. Your full forecast coming up in under 10 minutes.
Well, I want to take you now to the northeast side of San Antonio. We had some construction closures here earlier in the northbound lanes of I-35. That's cleared. Now we've got an issue in the southbound lanes. A crash there blocking two lanes right before you hit Loop 1604. So right now you're looking at about a 25 to 30 minute delay heading into town. This is for anyone coming to San Antonio from New Braunfels, Canal County, any of those areas. You're going to be stuck in this backup right now. So we'll keep watching that for you. On the east side, it's just been one issue after another. We did get one of the two crashes cleared here. So this was between Roland and Martin Luther King, eastbound I-10. That's still shut down. We had a second crash happening eastbound at South Walters. That one has now cleared. Regardless, this area is still seeing about a 30 to 35 minute delay because of those two issues. There's the exit you're going to be taking, 577, as you get pushed off onto the frontage road. Photojournalist David Mendoza was in that area not too long ago in road cam. Took about 20 to 30 minutes to get through that backup. David, where are you now?
I'm on 37 southbound, right past Pecan Valley Drive. Traffic is moving great down here, both directions. I'm about to come up on the 410 interchange and head westbound. Traffic's moving smooth out here. I'll toss it back to you.
All right, David, thank you. And we've been introducing you to David today. He's actually been a member of our team for a long time. He's been a partner with me in bringing you guys updates behind the scenes. So now we're excited that you guys get to talk to him too and get to know him. So that's really it. We do have the construction closures downtown as well. I-35 southbound near West Martin Street and Cesar Chavez. That's not causing much of a delay right now. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
All right, Joy, thanks. David, welcome once again. Happening today, nearly 200 businesses and civic leaders are flying to Washington, D.C. It is the 46th annual SA to D.C. trip. The goal here is to advocate for policies and funding to further advance San Antonio. News 4's Tawny Davis now live at the airport with details on what this trip all means. Tawny, good morning.
Good morning. Well, that inaugural flight from SA to DC was one of the positive results from past SA to DC trips to help with the growth of San Antonio. And now the Greater San Antonio Chamber of Commerce is hoping that even more policies will be approved moving forward. Now, the president, Jeff Webster, says this trip is spent talking about things that matter to San Antonio. Items like healthcare, military affairs, transportation, workforce development, and more. A total of 12 issue teams are going to be spread all across D.C., meeting with members of the Senate and Congress from all around the country. This is all to advocate for San Antonio. The committees and the leadership further push San Antonio to the city of the future.
I've made this trip as a business leader and an elected official probably about 15 times. So this is not a new trip to me, but I love going on this trip. I love seeing the energy and enthusiasm that comes from our delegation about San Antonio. We've got, like I said, taken one of the largest groups ever. It's going to be a lot of fun this time.
The group has taken off on that inaugural flight. It was at 6:40. Then they will spend the week in the nation's capital talking about those policies, and they will return Thursday, March 6th. Reporting live, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
All right, Tawny, thank you. Meanwhile, at least 5 people on board a United Airlines flight headed to Houston were hurt when that plane ran into turbulence. That plane was forced to land in Waco. The 5 people hurt were taken to a nearby hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. United now working on getting the rest of those passengers to their destination again in Houston. There's been a string of aircraft crashes over the last couple of months, raising concern about air travel. We did speak to Senator Ted Cruz recently about air travel, asked him if folks should feel safe flying. He says it's still the safest way to fly, safest way to travel, and that the accident that happened over the Potomac in Washington in January is a reminder, though, we do need to upgrade technology used by air traffic controllers.
Air traffic controllers are literally using radar, and they use little slips of paper, and they use floppy disks, which I guarantee if you ask your kid what a floppy disk is, your child will have no idea. It makes no sense, and we ought to be using GPS, we ought to be using advanced technology. This is something I've been fighting over a decade to accomplish in the Senate, and I'm hopeful that this tragedy will spur members of the Senate, members of the House to move swiftly to bring our air traffic control technology into the 21st century.
Meanwhile, fans and members of the figure skating community turned out in Washington honoring those who died in January's mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport. It featured a number of well-known skaters coming together to honor the 28 members of the U.S. figure skating community that died in that crash. The event helped raise money to support the victims' families, first responders, and U.S. figure skating. Well, developing right now, a teenager in critical condition. He was shot on the city's far west side. So this happened about 7:45 last night. Police found the 17-year-old victim shot twice inside of a car at a shopping center near the interchange of 1604 and Highway 151. Police think that people in 2 different cars were shooting at each other. The car the victim was in was allegedly stolen. Witnesses say they saw 3 people run from the scene. Those suspects still on the run this morning. Also this morning, investigators are looking into an inmate death at the Bexar County Jail. Early reports indicate it was a suicide. Investigators saw a corrections officer. That corrections officer saw the 50-year-old inmate trying to kill himself. The officer reportedly tried life-saving measures. The inmate had been serving time on drug charges for about a week. That deal comes as the jail recently regained compliance with the state. Well, making headlines this morning, the impact of immigration crackdown at the southern border continues to be felt, those numbers dropping dramatically. In fact, in February, there were just over 8,000 apprehensions at the border. That's for the entire month. President Trump celebrating that on social media, posting, quote, the lowest number of immigrants trying to enter our country in history. Meanwhile, more and more U.S. troops are securing the border wall with plans to send 3,000 more troops.
There's no big surprise here. If there's a consequence for breaking the law, you're going to have less people breaking the law. And so we're providing that consequence. And in doing so, it's driven those numbers down.
And when they see us doing things like this, police actions with the military, that also is showing the rest of the world that our military is less capable and we are weaker. And that affects everybody's safety.
The administration also using closed prisons to serve as detention centers for those arrested inside of the United States. The state of Texas is still dealing with the largest measles outbreak in 30 years. There are now 146 cases being reported in West Texas. Those are confirmed. A child died from the disease last week in Lubbock. That child was not vaccinated. Health officials say that infants who are not eligible for the vaccine are at a high risk during the outbreak.
We know they can have really serious outcomes. And so it is something that we're concerned about, that we're following closely and trying to intervene on.
There are 8 other states dealing with outbreaks. There are 18 total cases, according to the CDC. All right, about 10 minutes now from 7 a.m. From combat to the classroom, a local school district has one staff member that specializes in taking amazing pictures. He's an Air Force veteran who was hired by the Schertz-Cibolo Universal City School District. News 4's Christina De Leon has that story. Christina, how'd they find this guy?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting story. This all started with Aaron Alman's nephew, who actually played football for Steele. He asked his uncle to take some pictures of him out on the field. No problem, right? But it actually turned into a job because those pictures were so good of snapping photos for the district everywhere, basically, within those schools. Alman has family connections with the district. The Air Force veteran served primarily as a combat photographer in the Air Force for 21 years. Some of those photos remarkable. He was deployed to special operations and also fought in 3 wars. But now he is inside and outside the classroom there, taking shots of the students in their elements. Some of those photos, just look, you know, a much different pace than what he once saw at war. He's been retired now for about 3 years and works with the district, serving a whole different purpose. Listen.
I've never met anybody along this journey. I think I'm on my 3rd year here, who wasn't like all in, who wasn't just really getting up every day and just giving all they have to these kids.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Aaron, for your service and your commitment to this country and now the district, the Schertz-Cibolo Universal City District. He says he loves what he does and wants to continue being behind that lens and taking photos for the district. Those photos often highlighted in the district newsletter, and you can see he's just got a great eye and a gift for taking photos, and now he's doing it for the district. Reporting live, I'm Christina De Leon. We will send it back to you.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Jeannette Calle.
All right, well, it's going to be one of those days, and if you've watched us long enough to know, this is a little back and forth Jeannette and I have had for years. I say, oh, this is one that'll blow your skirt up, to which you always respond.
It's one of those days where you have to hold on tight to that toupee. David's hair just looks too perfect. So I once asked him, was it real?
So, do you wear a toupee? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with it at all. It's just, you know.
Anyway, hold on to anything today, yes?
Especially tomorrow. I mean, it'll be windy today, but very, very windy tomorrow.
Right.
Cloudy and cooler today with the cloud cover that's going to linger all day. Highs this afternoon just in the 70s. But keep in mind that it's still slightly above where we should be this time of the year. Forecasting a high in the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. Average high right now is low 70s. I'll be tracking our next weather maker, which is a cold front that'll come in tomorrow in the morning. Behind it, it gets very windy and the humidity drops, so we'll see a high fire danger in the area. As a result, fire weather watch for tomorrow morning through tomorrow in the evening. This is for all of south central Texas. Yes, so we're talking gusts that will get up to 30 miles an hour this afternoon. But tomorrow in the morning, we'll see gusts upwards of 40 plus miles an hour out west. And then throughout Tuesday, it turns increasingly windy across the rest of the area. Gusts upwards of 45 to as high as 50 plus miles an hour tomorrow in the afternoon. It'll be breezy on Wednesday and still breezy Thursday. The winds will finally die down come Friday. Live look outside, Raul B. Rodriguez Law Weather Camera. With the cloud cover this morning, we're seeing temperatures that are in the upper 60s. The humidity is also higher. With more moisture in the air, you're starting to feel that higher humidity. South-southeast breeze right now near 10 miles an hour. I want to point out that there's a small disturbance currently to the east and northeast that's helping to produce some very isolated showers from southeast Texas over towards Louisiana and Mississippi. Here's our next weather maker. It's a Pacific front. It's currently west of Texas, but throughout tomorrow, it'll be coming through our area. Before it gets here, with that flow from the Gulf, we'll see a few sprinkles or a shower or two between San Antonio and the eastern zone. That'll be on and off throughout the day. Tonight, it'll be cloudy and still the chance for a couple of showers ahead of the front. Once the cold front comes in by about 6-7 o'clock tomorrow morning, that too could produce some isolated showers. Better chance for showers and thunderstorms across North Texas. Some of the thunderstorms across North Texas could be severe. Then it gradually clears out here from west to east, again turning very windy, and the humidity will drop. We'll see sunshine tomorrow afternoon, plenty of sunshine Wednesday. It'll get cooler Wednesday behind the front. Then on Thursday, mostly sunny early with clouds increasing late. We'll have more cloud cover later Thursday into Friday as a second front comes in Friday going into Saturday, and that too could produce a couple showers. So plenty of clouds, not just this morning, but throughout the day. 10% rain chance. This morning, temperatures generally in the upper 60s, at noon, low 70s, then topping out in the mid to upper 70s, 75 to as high as 77. 30% rain chance late tonight through tomorrow morning. Clouds in the area tomorrow morning with the chance for showers, and then becoming sunny, very windy, high near 80. Cooler for Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we're back into the 80s with a slight rain chance, then back into the 70s over the weekend with sunshine. You see that clock? Well, that's indicating daylight saving time. That starts at 2 a.m. on Sunday. So we lose an hour of sleep with clocks moving ahead 1 hour. Here's the extended forecast for everybody else. You can get this online at news4sa.com.
I-10 eastbound still shut down. This is your exit that you'll be taking, 577 at Roland Street. That is where this closure begins. It ends once you hit Martin Luther King. Still a 30-minute delay behind this. Remember, we actually had 2 wrecks here earlier. One is cleared, but the one that shut down those eastbound lanes entirely still there and still causing that big slowdown. On the northeast side, I-35 southbound, a wreck here at Loop 1604 has shut down 2 lanes. That's causing about a 30 to 35-minute delay. So this is for anybody trying to head into San Antonio from New Braunfels. If you're going northbound on I-35 heading towards New Braunfels, then you're not going to see any issues there. Downtown construction here along I-35 southbound, not really causing much of a delay there near West Martin. One last check-in here with photojournalist David Mendoza in Roadcam. David, how's it? Where are you?
Hey, I'm on the southwest side right now, just past 35 on 410, and I wanted to say a special thank you to Joy, David, and Jeannette for really advocating and supporting me as I step into this new role. Down here, traffic's looking good. I did see a disabled vehicle on 410 eastbound. If I see anything else, I'll let you know. Thank you very much.
David, thank you so much. We are so glad to have you as part of the team. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
I love when we expand our family.
Yes,
Yeah.
and as I mentioned earlier, David can also let us know weather-wise what's going on area roads. So welcome, David.
We say it every morning. Today is a gift. Make it count, even for Monday.
Yes.
Have a good one.